let's talk about the Buffalo Bills because they had a statement win against the Kansas City Chiefs.
That was a huge win.
They beat the Chiefs 38-20. They have the first-ranked offense, the first-ranked defense. And I'm not sure if it was you or Drew. I think both of you were questioning the Bills' defense and how legit it truly is.
Were you on the show? I don't think so.
I said no. It was me and him, and I said this week was going to be a test to see if their defense was elite. That's
I was out on them. I really didn't think that they'd face any talent.
They faced the Steelers, then they faced the Dolphins, and I forgot
Dolphins with
faced.
Jacoby though.
Brissett.
And I don't know how much of a difference Tua makes. Personally.
Well, that first game
they played the Texans. Did they play Washington?
Exactly.
They shut out the Texans.
I don't know. I think they
shut
out
play
the
Washington.
Texans in Miami.
They did play Washington.
But because the Bills didn't face the best of competition, they were getting slept on.
They were.
But then against the Chiefs, they beat them 38-20. They're now 4-1. Josh Allen had 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 15 completions.
What did I tell you?
For him to throw for that much.
I like that.
I told you 3 weeks ago, Josh Allen, MVP campaign, it starts.
Okay.
And Emmanuel Sanders, a pickup that they got in the offseason, had 2 touchdowns. Dawson Knox is finally breaking out this season. So they have that tight end position solidified. What do you think about the Buffalo Bills? Is this the year they finally make it out of the AFC and possibly win the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm not gonna sit here and go to sleep on the Chiefs. They're still a dangerous team that can wake up at any moment. They've been to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. They've been to the AFC Championship 3 years in a row. So you can't sleep on them. They still have Mahomes and them boys. You got the Chargers, who's coming up. They have arrived. Justin Herbert, that defense, that offense, they're here. You still got Baltimore, who's going to be dangerous. Cleveland's still no pushover. So, there's still teams in the AFC. But I think what Buffalo has been lacking is an elite defense. I think now that elite defense is there to match that elite offense, who, like we were talking about last week, they still haven't fully shown us their capabilities. But we seen it against the Chiefs. They showed us in full force what they can do on both ends. And I think that's important. With the Buffalo Bills playing at an elite defense consistently that matches that offense, I don't think there's a team. I think this is an advanced Chiefs team. I don't think there's a team in the AFC that can beat them with that defense playing like it is Josh Allen with the weapons he have. This is definitely the team to beat in the AFC.
This is a tricky.
It's my AFC team. I just want you to know that. You know that.
But that's my AFC team.
What happened to the Colts?
What?
I picked them to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yo, what the hell?
Nah, but you're right. Like, Serge was
You're a
right.
Jets
You
fan.
did call them pretenders.
You've said you're a Jets fan, bro. You can't just jump shit.
Forget about
Wait,
that.
if I'm a Jets fan, why can't I say the Bills are going to make it to the Super Bowl?
No, I'm saying that's my that's my AFC team.
I understand.
Like, that's
what
the
you're
team
saying.
you root for in
okay,
AFC.
that's the team you root for, but
Yeah.
I picked them to
Oh
make
no,
it to the
I just
Super
wanted to
Bowl.
make that clear that those my
I
guys.
do have a question. You did call them pretenders.
I did.
At the start of the show, you said they are pretenders, and then came full circle and said they could come out of the AFC.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
I'll let you answer once it's your turn to speak.
Sometimes in the beginning of shows, I get in the heat of the moment, and as the show goes on, I tend to calm down my nerves. So that was a heat in the moment thing. But I do think the Bills are by far the favorites to make it out of the AFC because I've said it before. I think the Ravens, their injuries scare me.
Yep.
The Chargers, inexperience scares me. When's the last time a rookie head coach has made it to the Super Bowl? You can't really think of one off the top of your head. The Chiefs' defense scares me. I think the Bills are the most complete team in football right now, in the AFC at least. And I think out of all the teams that are complete, they're the most experienced. And Josh Allen is we know he's
you think they're more experienced than the Rams?
AFC
King.
Oh, I thought you said league.
But even the Rams, I don't trust Stafford in a playoff game, in a playoff setting. I don't trust him.
I don't know, bro. You trash talked him early on Thursday, and he ended up clutching up the W.
How many
in
playoff games
Seattle.
has
That was a
Stafford
big
played? One, right?
Russell Wilson went out.
I think he played 1 playoff game his
Russell-
entire career.
But that was late.
Thursday Night Football, Rams versus Seahawks.
What about against your boys?
Did Matthew Stafford impress you?
What about against your
After
boys?
the interception, though, he looked good.
I
Yeah,
think
he
Matthew
did.
Stafford looked good, but
Okay.
what he's expected to do in LA with the
Killed
Rams, he's expected to take them from here
Watch
to
this.
here.
And he has.
Drew, watch this. What about against your Tampa Bay? Did he impress you that day?
Matthew Stafford, he
Yeah.
was amazing.
Oh,
He was
okay.
phenomenal.
Just wanted to
But
make
let
that
me
very
also
clear.
let me also ask this: going into Seattle in division game, doesn't get any credit for that.
Geno Smith started to play.
He was nice.
But
Don't
Geno
do that.
did his thing.
he was doing interception.
Nah, come on. Before
He
that,
was
bugging.
okay.
But
He
he
was
threw that
bugging.
interception because Lockett fell.
He was okay. Yeah, I understand that.
That's
But he
right.
was
He was
okay.
bugging.
Even if Lockett didn't fall, The corner
Interesting
picked
throw.
apart that
Yeah,
route.
I'm with
It
you.
was a questionable
I'm
throw.
with
It wasn't gonna be an intel, though. I don't think. Probably just a.
Matthew Stafford has played in 3 playoff games.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can trust him against a Tom
But
Brady.
Josh
and Tampa Bay.
Allen's played how many playoff games?
5.
He's won 1 already.
But
He choked one too
he did. Well, I wouldn't say he choked it.
He's won 2 already.
Oh, yes.
Against Houston, he
did
choked
choke
one.
that.
Against, I mean, was it him choking or was it Deshaun Watson
Oh, so that's what we're
getting
doing.
tackled from 2 angles and still
Oh.
escaping a
He
sack?
choked. They were up big.
They were up
It was like
big. He blew
16-3 or
that.
something like that.
Couldn't score after that.
The offense got stagnant, but I think Deshaun Watson going full on Deshaun Houdini really is what got them over the top. The Bills won 2 playoff games last year,
Yeah,
and
they did.
Josh
They
Allen
did.
played phenomenal.
No, for sure.
You know, Matthew Stafford is yet to win a playoff game, and
He was with the Lions his whole career.
Yeah.
What can you do?
You look at Josh Allen. They put up the stat that he's damn near flawless in the red
Yep,
zone.
no,
He
he's
doesn't
amazing.
make mistakes.
It's amazing.
Matthew Stafford, whenever it's a close game, it's in the fourth quarter, there's that feeling that he could throw an interception. And there are some quarterbacks you have that feeling with, and there's some that you don't. Tom Brady, the same thing. Like, when there's a 2-minute drive and you know Tom Brady has the ball,
it's game.
you have no doubt he's going to score. With
Yep,
Stafford,
every time.
for me, it's not there. I don't trust Stafford in the playoff setting if he faces Arizona or if he faces Tampa Bay.
But do you trust
just-
Arizona though yet?
I don't, because of Cliff Kingsbury more so than their personnel.
I thought you were just giving Cliff his flowers.
He's a rookie. Still a young head coach. He's still a young head coach.
Young head coach with a young quarterback who
I
hasn't played in the
think
playoff setting yet.
My point about Cliff is that he's gotten better every single year. And when
Yeah.
he first got hired, everybody thought it was going to be a complete train wreck. Basically, what's happening with Urban Meyer right now, they didn't believe in Cliff.
Yeah.
Right.
But the Cardinals have been getting better every year. And this year, you can argue they're the best team in football.
You could. So back to the Bills. My main concern with the Bills is their run game. Their lack of run game over these last few years has been the reason why they haven't had the success in the playoffs. We saw it against the Texans. They really couldn't put them away because they really didn't have a run game. Their best running option
about the
is
playoffs,
Josh Allen. Correct. Then the year after that, they did have some success for sure, but then they ran into the Chiefs, and what was their biggest issue? They couldn't run the ball. When your offense is as predictable as we're going to pass the ball almost every single time because we know that we can't really run the ball against other teams, defenses can scheme up. Defense can draw up a scheme for that type of offense, obviously. So with Zach Moss, who has been a pretty solid red zone threat up until this point in the season, and Devin Singletary, I'm not in on their running situation. When Josh Allen is your leading rusher almost every single week, that's an issue. Of course, I got to give their defense credit for sure. They're the number 1 defense right now. They put up a great performance against Kansas City this past Sunday. They've been pretty solid, but their offensive production right now, I'm not going full-fledged saying that they're the best offense in football right now. They've played against bad defenses basically every single game other than week 1, and week 1 they lost. So I need to see them against a solid defense. I'm gonna continue to doubt them, and they can make me look stupid. But listen, right now they definitely can come out of the AFC. But I do still need to think about the Chargers. I do need to think about the Ravens. And like you mentioned, the Browns aren't pushovers. Their issue last week was that they couldn't score points. Their issue this week was that they couldn't stop the other team from scoring points. The Chargers are like that. The Browns have a solid team. It's not going to be a cakewalk to the AFC, but I will say the Bills do have a solid chance.
At the start of the season, I was kind of low on the Buffalo Bills. I was actually telling people that I think they were going to take a step back this year. They've made me look completely wrong. I definitely think that they have a great shot at making it to the Super Bowl. I mean, anytime you're number 1 in defense and offense, we have to point towards your direction and look at you as a serious contender. I mean, I'm looking at their schedule, and I don't really see anybody else on that schedule that can beat the Buffalo Bills. Like, Josh Allen's been incredible. The defense has been amazing. They just looks like this is their year to finally do it. And to piggyback off what Joel said, they are the most experienced team. They've been with this team. How many seasons now have they had this roster with this head coaching staff?
2-3, right?
2-3 seasons.
I mean,
McDermott's been the head coach for a minute.
The second year with Stephon Diggs, but
and then you got
with
Stephon Diggs.
Josh Allen has been 4 seasons.
Well, I'm talking about with the coach McDermott. And
Yeah, McDermott.
He's been the head coach
there
for a while.
They've gotten better every
Yep.
single year.
Yeah.
So they're gonna run. They're automatically they're gonna run away in the division. They're gonna get home field.
Yeah, it's
They're
been
gonna get home
first
field.
year Josh Allen, no playoffs. Second year playoffs. Now it's AFC Championship. You know,
Like,
like I said, Cleveland, they've shown me this year that they can compete with any elite team. You know, you saw the Chargers game, they scored with them. You saw the Vikings game, they may not have scored as much, but that defense stepped up.
For sure.
You saw the Chiefs, they went out there and they punched them in their mouth. They can compete with any team in the league. It's just if they settle down on the mistakes and they become a little bit more clutch. You look at Baltimore, they can turn it up at any moment. You know, that second half against the Chiefs, against the Colts, they are never out of a game. You look at the Chargers, they have Justin Herbert, that defense. I don't really need to say too much about them.
That's a fact.
They're here.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs, they still have that experience that Joel was talking about, you know, back-to-back Super Bowls, AFC Championship, 3 years at the top of the mountain. They still have that experience, and they still have the best quarterback in the league. So when you have that, you know, you're still a dangerous team. But the Bills have just been playing so complete on both ends, and we haven't seen this defense played at this level, and they have the pieces. It's hard for me to say that they're not the best team in the AFC right now.
Is this the most human the Chiefs have looked since Mahomes come into the league? It's got to be.
Yeah.
No, I think 2019.
Really?
They won a Super Bowl?
2018, when they lost to Tom Brady.
I wouldn't say they looked human there because
they just lost
should
because
have won
Tom
that
got the
game.
ball first.
I mean, in this sense, like,
but I mean,
Were you talking about the AFC Championship game?
That year, their defense was extremely bad, and the Chiefs had to score 30 points to win.
but hear me out on this. Mahomes' interceptions are already tied. I think he has more interceptions this season than he's had in both seasons, regardless. I think he has 6 INTs, something around that.
5 or 6.
Something, 5 or 6.
I think he has 13 in the last 14 games.
So my thing is, on top of the defense being trash, we're seeing an irregular performance from Patrick Mahomes this season, at least. This has to be the most human that they've looked. And so obviously people are looking at the Chiefs and they're thinking, are they going to be able to do it? Is this the actual start of the decline for the Chiefs? It's not out of the realm of possibility, truthfully. The defense, if
it's horrendous.
There's offenses that easily can score on them. We saw the Browns more than capable of doing it.
We did it.
The Eagles put up a solid performance against them too. Obviously the Chargers, obviously the Ravens, obviously the Bills. But these are all solid. Chiefs have had a hard schedule for sure, and their defense isn't helping them by any means. But you need Mahomes to be perfect, and he hasn't been.
I think the Chiefs looked like this last year. It didn't show in the win-loss column because they got a bunch of breaks. I said this last season, but Patrick Mahomes has the most interceptions dropped of any quarterback I think that I've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever he throws interception, it's either like an offsides or a defensive pass interference. It's always something that doesn't allow the interception to actually hold up. But the Chiefs last year were a sloppy football team. They played sloppy. It was second half heroics that really got them over the top. But they were a sloppy football team last year, which is why I thought the Bills were going to beat them in the AFC Championship. Because I also think the Bills, the same way they played defense against the Chiefs on Sunday night, they played against them last year, playing a cover 2 shell. They played that exact same way. And that was the way that teams guarded the Chiefs last season. This year, Patrick Mahomes, he's making riskier passes because he understands my defense is not going to stop anybody. So he's trying to make up 14, 21 points with one throw. He's not taking the layups because since they're taking Tyreek Hill away, you have these other players underneath. I also think that the Chiefs have to stop running in 3 wide receiver sets because the only good great wide receiver on the Chiefs is Tyreek Hill. Anybody else is not good. Sammy Watkins was good. He's not there no more. Do you trust Demarcus Robinson? Do you trust Brian Pringle?
He hasn't been bad.
Do you trust McCole Hardman? I mean, these guys aren't.
You trust him though.
These guys aren't good receivers.
With
I would
Mahomes,
rather go out in 2 tight end sets and try to. And teams are telling the Chiefs run the ball. I would try to run the ball a little bit more and kind of play teams out of that coverage.
Well, Clyde is hurt right now.
Yeah, Clyde is hurt.
But Darrell Williams isn't a slouch. He's about to come in and do his thing, actually. I
just think that the Chiefs played sloppy last season, and now it's finally catching up to them. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. Whether or not they're going to win the AFC West is still up for grabs. That's still a question. But they've been playing sloppy like this for the last 2 seasons, like 1.5 seasons. And I don't know if they're going to fall off because the cap is about to spike again, and the Chiefs will be able to sign defensive cornerstones to solidify that defense. Right now, they have one of the younger cornerback groups in the NFL. You know, probably second to the Jets because the Jets have an insanely young secondary.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs, I still believe the Chiefs are a threat, but I am kind of counting them out. I don't think they're as good as the Bills. They're better than Cleveland, but I don't think they're as good as the Bills, Ravens, and just because the Chargers are inexperienced, I put them in that same tier. But my tiers for the AFC are Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Chargers, and then the Browns are in that third tier.